Hey, thanks for tuning in to Twang and Bang. I'm always amazed at the kinds of groups I get from Savage rifles for the price you have to pay for them. And this rifle was no exception. Savage knows how much I love my Mark II FESR. So they sent me this B22 FESR, which is new for 2017, to do a comparison between the two. The FESR configuration that they share has proven to be ideal for my needs. That's why I got this rifle in the first place. They both have a 16¼ inch heavy barrel threaded for my silencers. They both have oversized bolt handles. They both have adjustable triggers. And they both shoot the lights out with CCI standard velocity ammunition. I don't care what you're paying for ammo. This ammo is always going to be about half what actual match rimfire ammo is going to cost you. Yet it shoots about as good at close ranges. There are a lot of differences between these two rifles nonetheless, and that's what's coming up next on Twang and Bang. The B Series is Savage's latest rimfire bolt gun, available in a dozen configurations in 17 HMR, 22 long rifle, and 22 Magnum. It's not just an upgrade from the Mark II series of rifles, it's a completely new design based around a 10-round rotary magazine. This is the B22 FESR, which has a bull barrel chambered in 22 long rifle mounted to the action using Savage's zero tolerance headspace. The SR stands for suppressor ready, with a muzzle threaded to accept silencers like this mask from Dead Air. The Tang mounted safety is a big improvement over that of the Mark II, not just in location but also in feel. Though it still has positive detents for safe and fire, it requires much less effort to manipulate between the two, which is especially good for younger shooters. The oversized bolt handle is knurled for those who prefer to grab their bolts, yet keeps a nice taper for shooters who prefer to rack bolts with the edge of their hands. The B22 comes with an AccuTrigger adjustable from a high of 4.5 pounds down to the factory setting of 2.5 pounds using an included tool. Savage calls their silver trigger safety the AccuRelease, which is designed to block the sear if the rifle is accidentally dropped. Some shooters don't like the feel of the AccuRelease on their trigger fingers, but I've been shooting them so much that I just don't notice it anymore. The B22 FESR includes a Picatinny scope rail, to which I've mounted a 6 to 18 power side focus rimfire scope sent to me by Bushnell. This scope comes with both the MOA turret seen here, as well as ballistic drop turrets calibrated for 17 HMR and 22 long rifle. This scope does have a protruding purge valve that required high rings to clear the rail, which put the stock comb to the test. Speaking of which, the biggest complaint I had with the Mark II FESR was the flimsy factory stock. The stock on the B Series fixes this with stiff reinforcement of the forend, combined with a much more robust mounting system for the action. This contrasts with the Mark II stock that has no barrel channel liner and no pillars to stabilize the action. Lined up at the bolt notch, the two stocks revealed their vastly different contours. The total stock length on the B Series is about a ½ an inch less. The comb is straighter with about ½ an inch of extra height at the back. The grip is deeper and more vertical to allow a much straighter trigger pull, and the cosmetics are greatly improved over the bland Mark II stock. There are three complaints that I had about the original Mark II FESR. The first one was the stock. I've already talked about that. I swapped it out with this one from Boyd's. Not sure if they're going to be offering one for the B FESR, but if they do, I'll probably switch that out anyway. I like this stock, but I love this stock. I love the weight of this stock. I love the feel of this stock. It actually makes this gun a whole lot more shootable. The second thing is the magazine. With the Mark II, it is basically a riveted magazine. And what happens is over time, the rivets will split and you'll start getting misfeeds. And there's really no way to repair the magazine, no easy way. So you end up having to buy a new magazine. Plus, this only holds 5 rounds. Straight from the factory, these B mags are 10 rounds. Rotary magazine, much tougher, much more durable, and they feed great. I think the biggest challenge is they have an individual place inside, kind of like a revolver, for each round. So there's a little divider between each round. And as you're loading, you have to get past that divider Well, now I goobered. That's not how you do it, like that. And so it's trickier to load than a standard magazine. And I'm willing to put up with it for a magazine that feeds better, that's going to be tougher overall. But you can see it's not just a matter of putting it in there. You got to kind of find that divider between the rounds and flick it over with the rim. So these magazines are better. They're not super awesome perfect, but they're way better than the Mark II magazines. The last complaint was extraction. Extraction on this, if there's any kind of buildup of dirt and grime inside the chamber, it's hit or miss. The bolt on the Mark II is different significantly than that on the B FESR. Now, in this area, it works in the same way. There's a C-clip spring that provides a tension for the extractor, which is kind of one of the parts that you play with on this bolt to get it to extract better. You pull this clip off, bend it tighter, and hopefully that helps you extract. So that part I was surprised to see is the same. What is very different is the chamber area on each of these barrels. The breech on the original FESR, perfectly flat, takes up the entire action. There's no place for gunk to go except into the slots where the extractors live when this thing is locked down to fire. They changed that on the B FESR, I think in a very clever way. The breech on the B FESR is completely conical. You no longer have those slots for the extractors. So there's plenty of room around the extractors to allow gunk to accumulate, fall in different places, fall out of the magazine well. And so far I've had zero extraction issues, even though I've run quite a lot of rounds through this. I think they fixed it. I think this is the solution to that problem with the extraction that many people experience with the Mark IIs. As you can see, extraction and ejection are very nice. With only a few exceptions, shells were ejected into a small pile a few feet off the table. The bolt locks down tight and runs in a very square pattern. You will need to hold this rifle in place as you run the action to keep it on target, though that's in part due to its light 5.5 pound weight. That's enough of me shooting this rifle. Let's see what it can do in the hands of the real shooter in this family. Okay, now we're gonna shoot some paintballs. First thing you need to do is load up the magazine. Insert the magazine. I've got it all loaded up for you. So remember how to do that?
I believe so.
Remember, hold the gun with the other hand, okay?
Okay.
Hands. All right, now you're gonna chamber around. Now get behind it and start from left to right, okay? Kind of get your point of aim, and then you got to take the safety off, okay? But go ahead and get a good point of aim. Remember, we figure that you're gonna need to aim at the very top edge of the paintball.
Mm-hmm.
So take the safety off. Here you go. Nice. Okay. Cycle it. Beautiful. Work from left to right. You might have hit the T. I can't tell. Oh, did you took out 2 with that one?
2 with that one too.
Last one. Okay, go ahead and eject, drop the mag, and put the gun on safe. Okay, I don't see how you're gonna hit every one of these. You're a really good shot, but these are very small. These are those like plaque revealer dye tablets that you don't use anymore. We've got a bunch sitting in a box because they won't be toxic to our dog if he finds some and eats them. But again, aim at the very top edge. I think that's what you need to aim at in order to hit it. So go ahead and insert the magazine. Chamber around. Work from left to right. I didn't put as many out there because why bother if they're going to fall over? You need to take the safety off once you get a sight picture. Well, I can't tell from here, but you sure knocked it out of the way. Oh, nice! You definitely got that, but I think that knocked a bunch off. Are there any left?
No.
Did you get it?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Oh, I think you hit the tee on that one.
And there's none left.
Okay, go ahead and pop that out anyway, and drop the mag. And go ahead and flick the safety. Okay, so, well, we know this is tough because they got to balance on those tees, but what do you think of the rifle?
I like it.
What's your favorite part?
Not much recoil.
Yeah, well, sure, rimfires are all that way. But I think, you know, just watching you do this, of course, the bolt is about the same to cycle for you. The trigger's about the same, but the safety is massively different. Because you can actuate the safety much more easily than on the other one. And clearly, you're as good a shot with it as you are with the other. Good job.
Thank you.
You just can't beat a rifle that you can shoot with your kid and have such a great time. And the precision that's built into the B22 FESR can develop a lot of confidence in a new shooter that makes it fun for them to do it. I feel the same way about the Mark II FESR, which is still on the market. The difference in street price is around $45, which means I still feel the Mark II FESR is the #1 value in all of firearms. I've said that for years. But for an additional $45, you're going to get a much better safety. You're going to get a much better magazine with twice the capacity. You're going to get greater reliability when shooting dirty, and you might get a stock that you can live with. There's one other thing to note. With my Mark II FESR, I needed about 150, 200 rounds for the groups to actually tighten up to shoot the way they're shooting for me now. And that was actually not a rare experience for purchasers of the Mark II FESR, at least at the time that I bought it a couple of years ago. I needed no such break-in period for the B22 FESR. I'm not sure if that's a difference in how they're produced or just luck of the draw, but I thought it was worth mentioning nonetheless. If you want to learn more about the B22 series of rifles from Savage, be sure to click the link in the video description below. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You can see the links right here. And be sure to click right here to subscribe so you can catch my next videos on bows, guns, and other cool stuff. I really appreciate you watching Twang and Bang, and I hope to see you next time.